I found that there's so many rules in Global War 36 that, especially when I was first getting into it, I really needed some cheat sheets. I just kept on looking up things over and over and over. I would spend half the time, or probably more than half the time, just looking up rules. So I decided to make myself some quick references that I could just put up on boards. And I made a couple other videos that you can go and reference. These ones are all, they've got magnets on them, so I have a magnet board and they pin up, and it's just like a really nice visual reference to what's going on in the game and what people's incomes and where we are and so on and so forth. And there's another video that I showed, these ones right here, just a real quick reference to all the different pieces. The one I wanted to talk about with this video is, this was really confusing to me at the beginning of the game, coming from Axis and Allies and understanding, wrapping my brain around this, the peacetime income increases and what they were and what the value was. So what I did was I put them all on this chart right here for all the different countries that start with a peacetime income and then move up to wartime. I put these values on here, and I find that it's pretty useful to have like all of USA all right there and all the Soviet Union, so on and so forth. But what I find is particularly helpful is that in each one of these, I put the rondels of the countries that are doing the stuff, right? And so I find this really helpful as an Axis player, that if I'm Japan, I can just scroll through and look at all the Japanese icons and see, all right, what actions am I going to do that could have some sort of a consequence? So for instance, if you're considering invading those French colonies down in Southeast Asia, well, you got to know that the U.S. is going to get 5D12 if you declare war on France or the British Commonwealth, right? And that's a big deal. That's a much bigger deal than +1 each time you place a new battleship or carrier on the map or the production chart. But it's all right here. So I find it's really helpful to be able to look and see all that stuff, and especially to be able to look and see the consequences from each of the other countries. So I have that whole sort of a cheat sheet right here that I find I spend a fair amount of time in front of just looking at this stuff. And then below it, again, these are things that I just kept on looking up over and over and over again. I really like the concept of the terrain and like the rivers and stuff like that. But I just kept on looking up what do rivers do? What does desert do again? Right. So I decided to put it all like in one visual place. So you can see that I've got the city, the fortifications, the mountains, desert, jungle, marshes, and rivers, right? And then there was this little space off to the side here. I had some empty space, and so I decided that I would throw in the rules, because I kept on looking up the amphibious assault. I threw that in there, and then the strategic rail movement. This, I've got this memorized now, so I'm not sure I really need that. I could put something else there, but it all fits. So I just find that sheet is pretty helpful to have. I know that they're quick references, and they did a really good job on the quick references, but I just like the fact that it's so visual here. I find that I spend a lot of time looking at this instead. So if you can use it, fantastic. You just got to print it out and tape it up, and you're set.